Haiti's president was assassinated. His death brings chaos to Haiti. Who was behind it? What's next for Haiti? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Last week, Haiti's president, Jovenel Moïse, was assassinated in an attack on his residence. President Moïse wasn't very popular, and Haiti has a history of political crises. There's been dictatorships, military coups, and fraudulent elections. For example, back in 2015, Haiti faced election fraud allegations. Are there any elections in the world that don't face fraud allegations these days? At this rate, we're going to have to go back to pulling weapons out of rocks to decide leaders. Is it democratic? Not even a bit. But is it honest? You betcha. Until people start sneaking in the WD-40. Anyway, accusations of election fraud and fears of violence then repeatedly postponed Haiti's presidential election, until Moïse won the 2016 election and took office in 2017. People protested Moïse in 2016, and again in 2019, and again this year. Critics said Moïse was supposed to step down from his 5-year term on February 7th this year. But Moïse insisted he had one more year because he didn't take office until 2017. Although I'm pretty sure in 2022 he would have argued he should get another year, since everyone's allowed to say 2020 doesn't count. But 2023 didn't look hopeful either, since Moïse wasn't the kind of guy that was going to hand over power. Moïse had been ruling by decree since January 2020. He refused to hold parliamentary elections and dismissed all the country's elected mayors. He also proposed a bunch of constitutional changes. A lot of people saw those as a power grab. It also doesn't help that Haiti has grown increasingly unstable under Moïse, with armed gangs seizing control of the country and terrorizing the population. And hearing that Haiti has grown increasingly unstable is like hearing that KFC turned the double down into a triple down. You didn't think it could get worse, but oh, it can. So it's not a surprise Moïse made a lot of enemies, and some of them got to him. I'll explain how after the break. Welcome back. Back in February, Moïse claimed that there was a coup conspiracy to have him assassinated. We don't know how valid those coup claims were, but as for being assassinated, it's refreshing to see a politician actually follow through on one of their claims. So how did this happen? At about 1 a.m. on July 7th, a group of assassins reportedly posed as American DEA agents and entered Moïse's residential compound in the capital city.
This audio recording that CNN has not been able to independently verify allegedly captures the moment when the assassins gained access to the private presidential residence the night of the attack. Officials say the men posed as U.S. drug enforcement agents to get in.
The police were able to arrest a bunch of suspects pretty quickly afterwards.
Haitian police say 17 men have been arrested, including 15 Colombians and 2 Haitian Americans. 3 suspects died in a gun battle, and 8 others are still on the run.
What's weird is that most of the perpetrators were foreigners. 13 of the suspects were former Colombian soldiers. According to the Colombian police, the Colombians implicated in the assassination were recruited by 4 companies and traveled in 2 groups. The men claimed to have been recruited to do work in Haiti by an under-the-radar firm in Doral, Florida, called CTU Security. That's right. Even internationally, everyone knows you can get away with just about anything by blaming it on Florida. So far, only 3 of the suspects are Haitian. Actually, they're Haitian Americans. 2 Haitian Americans claim to be just translators for the mercenaries. But the third one is a doctor and pastor with Florida connections. He's suspected to be one of the leaders in the assassination plot. Police said Christian Emmanuel Sanon planned to assume the presidency and hire some of the men as his security team. Wait, he thought killing the president makes you the new president. That's actually another solution to deciding a leader without allegations of fraud. Immoral? Of course. Decisive? You can't argue with those results. Although some who know Sinan say he was likely duped by the actual leaders of the assassination plot. An associate of Sinan said he claimed he was approached by people claiming to represent the U.S. State and Justice Departments who wanted to install him as president. Really? That's like getting one of those scam phone calls from Hilton Marriott and thinking you're actually going to get a free cruise. Pack your bags, honey. We're getting a free trip to Haiti, where I'm going to be the president. Rachel from Cardholder Services says so. Besides this, there are a few other things that are a bit off. I'll explain more after the break. Welcome back. There's still a lot we don't know about the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse. Like, where was the president's security team? Justice of the Peace Carl Destine said that none of the president's security agents were present when he arrived at the president's home to investigate the crime scene. When he arrived at the president's house, the police security booth was unmanned, and agents, without identifying badge or insignia, met him at the entrance. Despite the apparent scale of the attack and signs of rampant gunfire, none of the president's guards were injured. Some suggest the guards and mercenaries worked together, or that the guards may have set up the foreigners to take the fall. Others wonder how the attackers could penetrate Moïse's home and then escape unharmed, only to get caught without planning a successful getaway. Maybe they just weren't good at getaways. Everyone has their weaknesses. For example, I'm handsome, intelligent, and hilarious, but I'm terrible at being ugly, dumb, and unfunny. See? No one's perfect. Because of this, police in Haiti are investigating members of the presidential security detail. That includes the head of the General Security Unit of the National Palace, Dimitri Hérard. The Center for Economic Policy and Research reported that U.S. law enforcement is investigating him for arms trafficking. Records published by the Colombian magazine Semana showed that Hérard traveled repeatedly to Colombia in the months before the killing. Some speculate that Hérard either collaborated with the foreigners in the killing or set them up to take the blame for the assassination, perhaps on orders from someone higher up in the government. Of course, we can't rule out the possibility he traveled to Colombia for the same reason everyone else does, for the beautiful and scenic cocaine tasting tours. People are now playing the blame game. Former Haitian Senator Stephen Benoit said the president was assassinated by his own guards, not by the Colombians, though he didn't provide evidence to back up his claims. A former Haitian congressman claims powerful Haitian oligarchs killed him because they didn't want their interests harmed. And Moïse's widow says domestic opponents plotted the assassination. Wow, this is the most number of conspiracy theories about political murder I've ever heard, without the Clintons being involved. Oh wait, there's a Clinton conspiracy too. At this point, I'm expecting to hear a theory that Hillary Clinton used a time machine to go back to 1841 and give William Henry Harrison pneumonia at his inauguration by stealing his coat and hat. I don't know which assassination theory is true, besides the one about William Henry Harrison. That one's obviously true. But I'm going to take a wild guess here and say these very capable assassins, who police were able to capture immediately, were not the brains behind the operation. But we still don't know who the true masterminds are or what they wanted to accomplish. And there's a lot of confusion in Haiti right now. Complicating the issue is that Haiti currently has two conflicting constitutions that give different instructions on what to do when the president is no longer in power. And a suspicious third constitution they recently found written on a napkin that says, whoever kills the president gets to be the president. No takesies backsies. There are three men competing to take over as interim president. One is the country's acting prime minister. Another is the country's other acting prime minister, who was appointed just 2 days before the assassination. Moïse had supposedly kicked out the first acting prime minister and installed the second one, but whether he was actually allowed to do that is unclear. And the other potential presidential successor is the president of the Senate. He says he was voted into power by his fellow senators. But there are only 10 senators now because the rest of the 30-member chamber's members left office in January. Since Haiti hasn't held elections, those representatives were never replaced. I'd say Haiti has been as unstable as a sinking ship lately, but even sinking ships still have a chain of command, plus less murder. Also, gangs may be taking to the streets of Haiti to protest the assassination. The city's most powerful gang leader, Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier, called followers into the streets in the coming days to demand justice against this cowardly assassination carried out by foreign mercenaries in the country. I wouldn't want to mess with a gang leader whose nickname is Barbecue. Meanwhile, many Haitian citizens are trying to get asylum in the U.S. The crisis in Haiti is causing a lot of international concern. Haiti's acting prime minister, the first one, not the second one, also asked for U.S. troops. That's a tricky request for the U.S. because the U.S. has sent troops to stabilize Haiti in the past, obviously with less than perfect results. In response to the request, though, the U.S. sent senior FBI and DHS officials to help with the investigation, but so far, no military assistance. Wait, I know who they could send. So what do you think about the situation in Haiti? Leave your comments below. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.